Hello everyone and welcome back to Newegg TV. I'm Steve, and joining me today, a very special guest from Microsoft. I have the Director of Programming of Xbox Live. Is that correct, Larry Hryb?
That's right, Steve. How you doing, man?
I'm very good, sir.
I am so excited to be here at Newegg. I'm a big fan of you guys, so I'm thrilled that you were able to have me on your show. Yeah.
Awesome. You know, I did hear you're actually a PC gamer too.
Yeah.
Did you guys, you actually purchased from us as well?
Yeah, actually, not only do I purchase from you, but, and it's funny because I was, just a couple days ago, I was telling my mom I was coming down here. My mom's a huge Newegg fan.
No way.
So she's like in her 70s and she builds her own PCs.
That's awesome.
And she'll send me, she'll like, what do you think of this one? No, hold on. Then I'll get an email 10 seconds later. No, this is the better graphics card. Yeah, so my mom's a big Newegg fan anyway, and I am too.
Awesome.
So,
well, thank you very much, Larry.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So I know what everybody wants to know about right now is the Xbox One.
Yep.
So what can you tell us about the Xbox One? What's available for us to know right now?
Yeah, well, first of all, as you see right here, I brought my controller that I carry around with me all the time. This is actually the Day 1 edition controller. So it's essentially the same as all the regular controllers you get, but if you buy the Day 1 edition, which is a special version, you get the kind of the chrome. You get the chrome here in the center. The D-pad is also chrome. Have you tried the D-pad yet?
Actually, I did a little bit before we started,
yeah,
but
go ahead and try that out. Isn't that nice?
Oh, it's wow, it's very different than the other one.
Yeah. So we really did a lot of revisions on that. So anyway, I brought that along, but we're real excited about Xbox One coming November 22nd, which is which for history is 8 years to the day.
Wow, no kidding.
That Xbox 360 launched. So November 22nd, around the world, in many regions, we'll be launching Xbox One, which is a wildly different machine than obviously the Xbox 360.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you guys are starting out with some x86 technology built into that, right?
Yeah.
The Jaguar core from
there's some real high-end stuff in there, and the real part of being at Microsoft is we have some of the best software designers in the world.
Of course.
And developers. And so what's great about it is a lot of people, perhaps we talked about this when we did what we call a reveal back in May, is there's actually 3 operating systems running at once.
Okay.
So there's the game operating system, which can be upgraded accordingly along the way, just like virtual machines can.
Right.
Then there's this one that sits off the side that can run some side applications. And there's this smaller one which kind of does the traffic copying between the two and tells everybody what's going on.
Wow. That's
so it's
fantastic.
a really advanced piece of technology. We could have built a bigger, faster Xbox 360, which we did, but we also layered on top of this other interesting technology which allows us to really I'm hesitant to use this term because I'm here in Newegg and you guys are always coming out with the newest and greatest. You always have that stuff.
Of course.
But it's almost future-proof.
Okay. Well, I mean, speaking of that, I know the Xbox 360 had an amazing lifespan.
Yeah.
What can we expect for the Xbox One then?
Well, we expect certainly we want to meet and exceed what we've done with Xbox 360. We've got a long-term vision as we did with Xbox 360. I was there at the beginning, and I remember talking to Jay Allard and Peter Moore. We're like, we had this 10-year vision, and we're almost there.
Right.
We're almost there. We want to have a similar vision for Xbox One, and that's why we designed it, and we specifically designed it to, as I said earlier, to almost be future-proof, but also to be expandable in a lot of ways, so that console that you get at home, when you unbox it on the 22nd of November, or perhaps after if you're getting one for the holiday,
right?
It's something that can really grow with you using the power of Xbox Live. We've got the best games, we've got the best online service. It's future-proof, and we're really excited about it.
I feel like I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I know I'm asking you about the Xbox One, but for viewers who don't actually know you, Larry, can you tell them more about what you do for Microsoft in the community? Sure.
I've been around with Microsoft for almost 12 years. I joined the Xbox team about 10 years ago. So at that point, we were in the middle of designing the Xbox 360. So the original Xbox was still on the market, and we started designing the Xbox 360. And I was on the at that point I was on the Xbox Live team, and so I was part of the team that helped develop the next generation of Xbox Live at that point. I was on part of the team that helped develop achievements. If you like gaming achievements, I'm one of those guys.
Give you a little pat on the shoulder for that one.
So achievements, and then really all the elements. Then of course we launched in 2005, and I've been helping kind of communicate back to the gamers, hey, this is what we're doing and this is what's going on. Gamers are very social, they're very connected, and they have a lot of questions, so I want to do what I can to answer those questions, and that's why I'm here.
Fantastic. All right, Larry, so besides software updates, besides the possibility of upgrading the hard drive, I mean, what kind of upgradability is the Xbox One going to bring to the table?
Yeah, I mean, we're not really talking about anything about that right now, because we haven't even shipped it, so it's kind of hard to talk about that, but one of the things, if you look back over the history of Xbox 360, you can see the way we upgraded it using Xbox Live and the software. If you remember when the original Xbox launched in 2005, it had this thing called Blades, which kind of seemed quaint and very antiquated right now. And it's evolved evolved into this very different type of destination, the dashboard, the Xbox 360 dashboard itself in the interface. You can actually see that. You know, a lot of people forget about it, but when you hit the guide button, which is a little button in the middle of the Xbox 360 controller, the guide comes up over the game. You can actually see vestiges of the original design in there. But you know, as far as expandability, you know, we're looking at expanding and developing the power of Xbox Live.
Okay.
You know, we have over almost 50 million people connected using the service. It's one of the best online gaming services out there for multiplayer, and we're going to continue to invest in that. And using the connected state of an Xbox One, we're able to do some really, really exciting things. So, you know, I also want to point out, you know, we're the only game console right now, the next generation game console that has an HDMI in. So that's going to, right, that's really going to help folks so that they can stay watching their television program or their video program on their satellite, their cable, their Blu-ray player, whatever they want. Well, it has a Blu-ray player, so you don't need to plug that in. But you can, whatever your television source is, and your broadcast source, and then you can always stay connected. So you can, if your friend wants to play Call of Duty, you can hit a button and go right into a match and flip-flop back and forth. You can even watch, you know, ESPN while you're waiting for a match to come up, and you'll get a notification, hey, your match is ready. Hit a button and you instantly switch in.
Wow. So then I'm curious if this might be some kind of functionality maybe down the line, but since you have that HDMI in, is there going to be any opportunity to maybe turn that into maybe a media recording station?
Yeah, that's certainly, you know, as I said earlier, we're really looking at ways to expand Xbox One. The biggest feature that a lot of people forget when you're in the consumer electronics and the software business is shipping is a feature. So November 22nd is coming, and that's a big milestone for the team. And they're not going to stop there. They're going to look down the line, just like we do with Xbox 360, and iterate and look at what features they can get in there. So when people, perhaps they see a feature or two that they wish was in there at launch, we're going to do our best to get those in there in the future. Okay.
Well, I know we were talking about upgradability too, so I thought, well, maybe if we look back at the history of the 360, there were some upgrades, obviously the Kinect being one of them. So what's new about the new Kinect?
Wow, so one of the big decisions that the team made was to include Kinect in every single console. That really has a massive impact for developers, because now when they're developing games, they can say, okay, we know that there's going to be a Kinect there, as opposed to how many sold, so how many people really have them or are using them. So when you have it in the box, it allows developers to count on it and do really creative things. The other thing is we're really increasing the support within the Xbox One itself in terms of the dashboard level. Full voice navigation on the dashboard, of course gesture. One of the things we announced yesterday was Xbox Fitness.
Wow. Okay.
So what that is we're teaming up with some really high-end fitness folks like P90X. I know a lot of gamers and a lot of P90X fans out there. The new sensor now has the ability to look at your body and has such high fidelity. When you're standing there, we can see your heart beating.
I did read that before, and this is the implementation of that then. Take it to the next level and bring it into fitness.
Yeah, you can. Well, that's one area to bring it in. Again, it's all data. So the data is being collected by the sensor, and now it's up to the title, in this case the fitness titles, to use them in very creative ways.
Is that doing it thermally? I'm just curious.
Oh boy, there's a lot of tech involved there. You know, first of all, there's a 1080p camera, so you can do beautiful Skype calls on it. It's, you know, Xbox One will have Skype.
Nice.
It's got a full sensor array microphone, so it does noise cancellation. So you can, you know, we have a headset in the box, of course. But you know, using the voice navigation, you can do that. But the sensor itself, it's a combination of infrared, and it's like a whole collection of different data points that we're looking at, and we actually measure the time that the light goes to your body and then bounces back. We call it time of flight, and it's actually measuring photons.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's a really, I mean, I can imagine over distance time, you know, obviously makes a bigger effect on light. I mean, you can definitely tell, as if the sun is transmitting light to us. I mean, there's a lot of time there, but the distance to which you're going from the Kinect to me, or the light bouncing off me and back to the Kinect.
So we're able to do, you know, using a lot of the technology with Kinect, we can do things like fidelity of fingers. So we can certainly see that. When Kinect looks at you, it can know when you're looking at the sensor and maybe looking away. I've seen game examples where you're playing the game and I look over here because I'm checking email, and the AI can say, hey, I'm talking to you, because it knows you're not paying attention. So there's a lot of really interesting experiences like that you can expect. I've seen, I can't really talk about the specific title, but I know one of the games is working on this concept of, you know, we also, in addition to all this data, we can see if it's light or dark in the room. When it's darker, there may be more zombies on the screen.
So zombies, now we're narrowing it down.
Well, I'm just saying, when you make noise, the zombies will come towards you.
Oh, wow. You have to be quiet in your
own room, right? So your little brother can come in and say, "Hey," and all the zombies will come after
you.
No. So there's experiences like that developers are working on, that they have this full canvas to think of now that they know that Kinect will be there.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So another different type of peripheral I know that we were using with the 360 is Smart Glass.
Smart Glass, yeah.
So what can we expect in terms of controllability with the new Xbox?
Yeah, Smart Glass is a real exciting area that has done really well for us at Xbox 360. I've got my Surface here. This is not the new one. This is the Surface Pro. But I mean, we've got Smart Glass running on here, and even on my Windows Phone. It works on iOS and Android and so forth. It works on all the major platforms. But what we wanted to do when we developed the original concept of Smart Glass that we're carrying over to Xbox One is like, look, you don't need to buy another device. We all have phones or tablets that we're carrying around already.
Yeah.
How can we enable those devices to talk to the gaming system in a smart way?
Yeah.
So we've seen some existing Smart Glass examples where you have a guide or a map or a mini map. I've seen examples, for instance, Dead Rising 3, which is one of our exclusive launch titles, where you've got it connected to your phone, and then in game, the character calls you on the phone with Smart Glass.
What?
Right. So you're seeing things like that. There are also developers are looking at. I know when I'm playing games, my wife likes to. She's not really a gamer, but she likes to watch because we want to spend time together.
Nice.
So she'll sit with me. Now with Smart Glass, she'll be able to maybe participate in a game somehow. Not just looking at, oh, go over here, but maybe she's doing a mini game. Right. Maybe she's saying, hey, take a right here. There's some loot down this hallway. Things like that. So she's really engaged in a level that she's comfortable with. Because at the end of the day, you and I may be comfortable with this controller, but there's millions of more people when they look at this like, oh, I don't know what to do. They start doing this, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do what we can to kind of bridge the gap and let people game the way they want to game, whether it's with a controller, whether Smart Glass, or as I said earlier, Kinect.
To add to that, I want to ask you too, I'm mainly a PC gamer, and I love my keyboard and mouse. And I know the 360 does have the ability to use a keyboard and mouse, or at the very least a keyboard.
Yeah, lead keyboard, yeah.
I know it's up to the game too, right? The developer has to develop it for that too. Is there any way we can try and make that happen with the Xbox One?
Well, I'll tell you, it's the same scenario. We will support, we'll certainly have this great SDK, software development kit for developers to do what they like. If that's something they're interested in doing, we will certainly help them do that.
Okay.
But you pointed out, it's as a lot of people forget, and they don't realize that designing for a 2-foot gaming experience, if I'm gaming here, versus perhaps a 9 or 10-foot experience, is a little bit different. So they have to be really focused on what is that like, and they're maximizing for the largest possible audience. Certainly it's possible.
Yes.
But we don't have anything to announce at this time.
I mean, I get it too. If you're sitting on the couch, you clearly want to have a controller. You don't want to have a tray table, your dinner table in front of you with a keyboard and mouse. I get it. But
and not only that, but we kind of have this concept of when you're playing a PC game, you're kind of leaning forward. With an Xbox game, sometimes you lean back.
One of these, right?
Right?
Yeah.
You're just kind of having fun. So they're similar, and I don't want to incite the religious debate that will ensue, because I'm very aware of it.
You must be, yes.
So it's just we want to provide a gaming experience that people enjoy. Certainly with Windows, that's our other large gaming platform, Microsoft.
I'm a big fan of it.
Yeah, so there's something there, but right now we're focused on really the console space.
Okay. For me, I do use an Xbox 360 controller when I game on PC, especially if I'm going to play a racing game.
Yeah.
And depending on other games, I also play a lot of State of Decay. I know we discussed that.
Yeah, we talked about that on the phone the other day. Yeah.
I'm really hooked on that. So
that's
I know
game.
Eventually, I'm praying to Rockstar to put it on a PC sooner than later. I know it's not even announced, but I really, really want this to happen.
I have no insight to that either, and I know that they're selling a ton on console right now.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Wow, breaking all the records. Yeah. Well, almost, but still, extremely fast. So aside from that, we are talking about the connectivity of the Xbox and a PC.
Yep.
I want to know more about that. The ability to do Windows Media Center.
Yeah, I've seen some of those questions, and I know that we're not ready to talk about anything yet, but again, this gets to what I said earlier about the fact that the team is really focused on shipping on the 22nd, and then we're interested in developing the Xbox One platform further.
Get it stable, get it out there, get it in the hands of everyone else, and then let's start developing it.
Yeah, exactly. Let's start adding the features on. And a lot of folks forget when we launched the Xbox 360, we didn't even have the party system, and any Xbox gamers know that that's that's like the price of admission now. You expect that.
Right.
So we're going to continue to evolve that. You know, when we launched Xbox 360, there was no Netflix.
Right.
You know, so things along those lines, we want to make sure that we're going to continue to evolve, and that's what we can do.
Great.
The system was designed to evolve quickly and easily, both from a development standpoint, but also from an end user standpoint, so I don't have to worry about updates and all that stuff. It all happens in the background.
Perfect. To that end, can my PC Games for Windows Live games have more connectivity, or at least the same connectivity to my Xbox friends?
Yeah, at this time, no,
Okay.
because they're completely different architectures and completely different code bases and completely different systems.
Okay.
In fact, at launch, Xbox One and Xbox 360 won't be able to communicate except for text. We can't do voice or any other type of messaging because the voice codec that we're using in Xbox One is tremendously more robust and it's high bandwidth.
Well, that's great because the old one was very weak in some areas.
Weak, you're being kind.
Yes,
you're being kind.
Well,
no, it's certainly we could have done better in that space. You know, we were pushing areas of the technology in the box that we pushed as far as we could, and the fact that we're able to start with a clean slate. When I heard the Xbox One codec for the first time, I was really, really excited. And I've got actually some demos on my blog at MajorNelson.com where you can actually hear the difference between Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Perfect. Okay, for all of our listeners out there, if you actually want to check it out, it's MajorNelson.com,
Yep.
and I'm sure you actually have tons of other things on your
Yeah,
blog
if you want, if you're into Xbox gaming at all or any type of gaming or even nerd geeky stuff, I have all sorts of cool stuff I like to post. This is my personal blog about what I do at Xbox and things that I think are interesting.
You also have a podcast too.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can find me on iTunes and all the rest of the places. I do that. In fact, I was supposed to do it this week. Can't do it this week because I'm down here. This is why I'm not doing it.
Guys.
That's all right. But yeah, we've got a great podcast. I've got a bunch of great guests, and we try to do that every week. And we have a lot of fun with that. And of course, you can follow me on Twitter at MajorNelson.
Awesome.
Yeah,
okay, so I know that AMD announced some new toys that they just released.
Yeah.
And one of the things I actually want to mention, because it relates to the console again, is the Mantle API.
Yeah.
So for those who don't already know, Mantle API is similar to DirectX in the sense that it's going to allow the hardware to communicate to the software and essentially allow it to take some shortcuts and get a little bit more performance out of your hardware. So that being the case, I've understood it to mean that now we can take console-based games and then translate those to PC a little bit easier.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's great. I mean, certainly gaming has never been more alive than it is today. I mean, we see that it is an industry that rivals and in some areas surpasses Hollywood, which everyone thinks is the gold standard of entertainment. And anytime we can get more entertainment into people's hands, whether it's on a console, whether it's on a PC, whether it's on a mobile device, I mean, that's great. I mean, people consider themselves, people that you would talk to that when I'm traveling around that don't consider themselves gamers. Then I start talking to them after a few minutes, I realize they actually are a gamer. They just, their
definition.
Right, their definition is a little different. And it doesn't matter whether they're playing Plants vs. Zombies on their iPad, or they're playing State of Decay on their PC, or they're, League of Legends, whatever it is. There's different categories of gamers.
Different tiers.
Right,
Yeah,
there's different tiers, and just because you're not what people perhaps think is a stereotype as a gamer. My mom's a gamer in some regards. My wife's a gamer in some regards, right? People that you really don't think about, they just game in different ways.
Correct. So, Larry, for those out there that have already bought or pre-ordered for the 360 a AAA title like COD Ghosts or BF4, is there any opportunity for them to maybe get it on the Xbox One for maybe a deal, a cheaper price?
Yeah, a lot of our retailers, we've worked with our retailers to develop programs exactly like you mentioned, because a lot of these titles coming out this holiday are actually before some of the major console launches.
Of course.
So they should check with their retailer. I know that a lot of folks are offering upgrades for like $9.99, basically $10 to get the next gen version of the game. So I highly recommend they do that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk to you a little bit about warranty, because I have some friends that were kind of worried about the 360 and red ring errors.
Yeah.
What kind of warranty can we expect if something like that were to happen with the Xbox
One?
One?
Certainly with the Xbox 360, we had a little bit of, we had some challenges with the launch of the 360, and once we identified that, we took control of it and we wanted to do it right by our customers. Our customers are very important to us.
Of course.
And with Xbox One, it is it's a standard consumer electronics warranty, and we're really excited about the reliability that folks are going to get out of Xbox One. I mean, we had a lot of learnings coming out of Xbox 360 that we rolled into Xbox One. It's been in development for many, many years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So more about the Xbox One. How about 4K resolution gaming?
Yeah. Yeah, we're really excited about that too. That's, you know, I'm sure your audience knows that 4K is like the next big thing.
Right.
You've seen 4K images, right?
Yeah, and I know of like of 5 people that might have a TV like that.
If that.
Nationwide.
Of which you're one.
Yeah, I wish. Actually, I'm not, but.
And I'm not either. Yeah, certainly Xbox One is a home entertainment system that's built for the future. It supports 4K gaming and entertainment. Okay. In fact, we are shipping an HDMI cable that's 4K rated. You know, so when you get your HDMI cable out of the box, it's 4K rated. It comes with that Xbox One. But we're looking forward to bringing 4K capabilities to consumers. You know, probably in the future. It's going to be up to developers.
Okay, excellent. Well, Larry, I just want to ask you. I know we're kind of wrapping everything up right now. What are your plans after the launch of this? Because you've been working your tail off. I know.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the march to November 22nd, and a lot of folks think it ends there, but it doesn't. It actually that's the start. That's the start of the next generation. Oh. That is the start when we're going to be excited when people are going to bring their consoles home and open them up, and they're going to jump online and they're going to see the developments that we've done with the controller, with Kinect, with the console itself, with Xbox Live, and of course the fantastic games. And we've got some fantastic games coming out for launch.
Of course.
But we're going to continue to evolve the platform as we move forward. Next year we've got one of the most anticipated titles of the next generation already, which is Titanfall.
Of course, I'm pre-ordered already.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a fantastic game. So even though November 22nd is in fact the launch for us, it's going to continue on into next year as we continue to improve the platform, like we talked about earlier, and as newer games come out, and we just things start to move forward. Now that I also want to be very clear, is that we've got 70 plus, 75 million Xbox 360s out there. We're going to continue to make great games for Xbox 360. That's an audience that we want to continue to take care of.
So all of you Xbox 360 owners out there, don't worry, you're still going to get games. Things are still going to come out.
Yeah, things are going to be coming out. But if you're interested in next generation gaming, we've got you covered.
Awesome. All right, man. One last question I want to ask you: where can people go to get more updates on you as well as the Xbox One?
Sure.
Where can you send them?
Yeah, sure. Of course, we talked about my blog earlier at MajorNelson.com. I'm on Twitter at MajorNelson. I'm on Google+. You can find me over there as well. We've got Xbox.com. We also have a news site, news.xbox.com. So that's kind of more for our media outlets. But really, if you follow me, I will keep you plugged in, and I'll tell you what's going on. We're really, really excited about launch this year.
Awesome, man. Lots of information out there.
Thank you.
Well, Larry, thank you so much for coming in.
Pleasure's all mine. Great questions, and thanks for your time.
No problem. And thank you guys also for watching. If you liked what you saw today, go ahead and click the like button. If you haven't already done so, click subscribe, and we'll see you soon.